Before we introduce ourselves, I would just like to say that our presentation had to be pre-recorded for various reasons. But Martina will be available to answer any questions you might have at the end through the Skype chat, both from students online and on campus. Our team is called M&M, and we consist of me, Marta Bakkenöos. I am a second-year student in interactive media animation.
And me, Martina Sustravara. I am a second-year student at Digital Forensics.
So to recap, our subject of choice is alternative reality. We chose that simply because we share a common interest in many topics related to it. During our first brainstorm, we wrote a list of potential topics to work with, and we quickly learned that it was quite hard to choose one over the other. Just as quickly, though, we came up with a solution of a product that would be able to handle several topics without potentially making a mess, and that was to write a book. Since alternative reality have such a huge audience, we thought it best to reach out to those of slightly younger age, an audience whose cup haven't run over with information, if you like. It was quite challenging to find a suitable age group for what we had in mind, but we landed on one with children in ages between 9 and 14. They are not too young to learn from what level of information we intended to deliver, and neither too old to appreciate the variety of illustrations and animations we had planned.
We initially wanted to create the ebook manually using HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript, and then possibly converting it into an EPUB file for interactivity. However, after our last presentation, we decided to make it a little easier on ourselves and made the choice to create an interactive PDF file in Adobe InDesign instead, since this software was compatible with the different interactive features we wanted. As a way to make the project more relevant to both degrees, we also wanted to secure the ebook and its contents from copyright infringement and piracy. We therefore ended up creating an encryption program to encrypt and decrypt the PDF file. We could, of course, have used Adobe Digital Rights Management. However, DRM is easily removed nowadays.
To get an overview of some of our achievements, we have made a little demonstration just to show how the book works. So what we have made is an interactive book built up so that the children can use illustrations to guide their way back and forth, starting with the cover. By clicking the cover of the book, they are led to the prologue, which contains a general word around alternative reality and what it can be. Here we also ask a series of what-if questions in hopes to pique their interest. By the end of the prologue, the children is told that they can look through the window to explore some of the wonders they might have, hence the title of the book, Window of Wonders. As a window is a vision of the world outside, I like the idea of having the window here be a metaphor for seeing, to get a sneak peek at what alternative reality has to offer. When they click this button, it leads them to the table of content, which in this book is disguised as the child's bedroom. This bedroom contains a series of buttons disguised as toys. However, not all of the toys in this bedroom is disguised as a button, but those who are have a look that gives a hint of what the chapter is about. Before you can click on any of the buttons, you have to turn on the light. The idea of a child's bedroom and toys is slightly more juvenile than what we intended at first, but we thought that toys were good objects to use when giving a hint at what the chapter it belonged to could be about. Take this witch's hat, for example. Now that the light is on and the chest has opened, we are able to click on it, like so. The witch's hat leads to a chapter about magic. Here we share a general word around some history about magic, what it used to mean to people, what it does mean to some, and what it can be. We wish to leave room for the reader to make up his or her own mind to what it can mean to them. It was a bit of a challenge to write in a manner that would suit such a young crowd. We thought it would be easy at first, but to simplify history and facts in relation to religion proved to be quite a challenge. Some illustrations are involved as well. You might have noticed that the cat have made a frequent appearance, such as on the cover and in the bedroom. That is because I wanted to have a visual presentation of a child's curiosity. It is based off the horrible saying curiosity killed the cat, but I like cats and they are naturally curious, so there you go.
In order to make the team as efficient as possible, we divided the workload fairly. We both had 2 to 3 chapters each to write, plus our individual tasks. Marte was responsible for the design and illustrations, while I was responsible for the technical aspect, such as creating the ebook and the implementations to secure it. Considering we have worked on a team before, we were aware of what worked for us as a team. As a result, we made sure to keep each other updated on our individual progress often, as well as trying to have a Skype meeting every other week at least.
The fact that we were so eager to work with our subject of choice made us overlook a very important issue: how to make it relatable to both degrees. Sadly, we did not realize that before it was made clear to us during our first presentation last semester. We thought we had it covered through the technical aspects and the very making of the interactive book, but as luck would have it, we were wrong. Since we were so well in the making, we did not want to split up. That was never an option. We wanted to work together because what we learned from year 1 is that us two as a team work really well.
As a solution to this problem, we wanted to focus on the security of the ebook and its contents in terms of unauthorized use, piracy, and copyright infringement. A common way to secure an ebook is using digital rights management. However, after some research, this method proved to be inefficient since it can easily be hacked or even removed using tools available online. We therefore decided to make our own protection for the PDF file by coding an encryption program. The encryption program utilizes AES-192 as a standard encryption method. This program itself is made with Node WebKit, so that the program could be made available on multiple platforms such as Windows, Linux, and Mac OS X. During the purchase of the ebook, the user would get an encrypted version of the file. And after the purchase is confirmed by us or by the distributor, the user would get access to a specific password and the program. The only way to decrypt the encrypted file is then to use this program. One of the lessons we have learned during this project is to make sure that we take enough time planning and researching our project before we actually settle on an idea. Taking more time to plan the project and making sure that the project is relevant to both degrees early on would have saved us a lot of stress and extra work. Another lesson we learned was that the ebooks are a lot of work, mostly during the development of content and putting it all together. So for future projects, we now know that making a product in a software we have no previous experience with requires some research in terms of the software. And finally, as for me personally, I have learned a great deal about the security of ebooks and its content in general. Although we did not manage to make a perfect permanent solution for DRM, just by creating an encryption program, we have found a way to make the distribution a little safer by using this program.